Alright, we're here at Archerfield Speedway for the 59th Australian Sprintcar Championship. It's been a couple of years since we've had the Australian Sprintcar Championship run. It was meant to originally be at Perth Motorplex, but now it's been moved to here at Archerfield, just because we weren't sure about restrictions at the time, you know, with where teams and drivers could travel. But yeah, we're finally here. This is by far my favourite event of the year. Pretty much everyone, who's turned up. We've got the Australian champion, current Australian champion, Jamie Veal here. Great field of cars. There's Lockie McHugh, who's probably my pick to win. It's probably between Veal and McHugh. Veal's won, I think, the last 4 races that he's been in. McHugh, to me, right now has the race pace. He looks like he can move the car around. He's got speed everywhere. He's driving smart. Is Veal as good as what McHugh is right now? I don't think Veal is at his absolute best, although he's fast. So to me, it's between those two guys, but it is the Australian Sprint Car title. Not everything always goes to plan. There's guys like Jock Goodyear, who I think is super fast, just needs to control the race a little bit better. Luke Oldfield is always a threat every time you come to anywhere in Queensland, basically. Guys who haven't won yet are guys like Stephen Lyons or Ian Madsen. They're always going to be up there. And of course, there's always younger guys like Marcus Dumsney, his brother Matt's here as well, Jesse Addard, Ryan Newton is a winner here, and Jai Corbett's obviously fast as well. This is the 8th and final time the Australian Sprint Car Championship will be held at Archerfield Speedway. Hopefully we can get some info on that. But yeah, either way, I think they only held it a few years ago. When Queenslanders have won the Australian Sprint Car title, that's Todd Wanless and Andrew Shirley. It's always been here at Archerfield Speedway too. Providing the weather's all good, it is a 2-night format. The first night we've got hot laps, which is separate, you know I love that. Qualifying, and then we've got 2 rounds of heats. The first round of heat is inverted, I think inverted by 8, depending on how many cars there are. So I think this weekend it's going to be 8, a bit opposite to the Classic, and the second round of heats is straight up in points. So yeah, you're definitely going to need to do well early on, especially with the track possibly being heavier for the first round of heats. Then cars are going to struggle to make their way to the front. So I think the first round of heats is probably going to be the most exciting. And then we've got a preliminary A main, and then we got the second night, which is another round of heats, and then we go into the title feature. Either way, it's good weather right now. Tomorrow's not meant to be great weather, so yeah, let's hope hopefully the rain holds off and it's a good night of racing.
It's my duty to advise you that motor racing could be dangerous, your equipment could be damaged or destroyed, you may suffer serious injury or worse. So the time trials are based on the seeded groups. These will be drawn into heat order, and then there will be a draw of what time trial order you are. You're only time trialling against your heat.
Mark Cooper from American Racer Tyre. There's a tyre shortage pretty much everywhere in the world, not just here in Australia, with sprint car racing. Where are you guys at right now with tyres?
Well, for this weekend we flew in tyres.
Yep.
So it made it pretty expensive for everybody, me included. But yep. You know, we've got tyres here, so you know the guys will be able to run on them. But going forward, it's going to be a pretty tight situation for everybody. We're just going to have to come up with some systems and some ideas how to manage, you know, low tyre counts. It's, you know, I have stock arriving in a couple of weeks. We've got a couple of containers arriving, and yep. You know, we'll be able to, you know, albeit we are getting to the end of the season. Yeah. But you know, we're going to just keep chipping away. As far as my company is concerned, we're just going to keep chipping away, try and build some stock over our winter, and see how we end up. But next year, I think it's going to. I really do think it's not going to go away. Yeah. I think this is at least another year, maybe longer problem.
When we spoke back in December, I think it was more of a staff problem, but I've seen some releases now from tyre companies, maybe even American Racer, about basically materials is a big problem.
Yeah, so nylon, the nylon that they use in the tyre, that's sort of the latest deal. Yep. World shortage on nylon. Yep. If it's not one thing, it's another. It kind of feels like the labour situation it's not the greatest, but it's definitely better than it was. Yep. And now we're dealing with raw materials. And race tyres, unfortunately, at the bottom of that raw material usage, and all the big users are getting that product first.
yourself too, but nothing, you know what I mean?
So we're just walking off after the 2 flights of time trials. We had a camera on Jordan Brazier's car, we had one on Robbie FARR's car, and we had on Aaron Kelly's car. Aaron Kelly got overall quick time, did a 12.0. I'm really surprised how they were able to hold on to the quick lap times, especially you can see right here how slick it is. It really opened up and started to blow some dust, so I'm really surprised that the guys were able to knock off those quick lap times. But yeah, definitely fast guys there. 12.0, 12.1, 12.4, around those sort of lap times is what was fast. So we'll see what happens in heats. Aaron Kelly, overall quick time, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, at first as a total, I didn't actually know it was overall until I got back to the pits after we changed the Dragon bladder. So I don't know what to say. That in itself is a cool achievement for this team. Yeah, I don't know.
Were you a bit worried, like, it's starting to slicken off? I know you're only qualifying against your heat, but still getting pretty slick. Did you guys have to make some changes, or did you drive different?
No, we were pretty good there in hot laps. I think we were quickest in our group, not our heat and hot laps. But obviously, you know, it's 25 points for each heat race quick time. So I wasn't really worried. Obviously, you're racing against your heat, but like I said, obviously, I think we showed the speed in Sydney. When the track slickens off, we do go forwards, and we just proved that again in qualifying. And so yeah, I don't know, this is something that I'll definitely remember for a long time.
Right, so we only got time for one interview, and that was with the overall quick time, Aaron Kelly, but they're really pushing through with things here at Archerfield Speedway tonight. But with the first heats up, invert of 8, it's going to be really important for the guys who got quick time to move forward in their heats, but obviously you don't want to get damaged or you don't want to DNF, because that could be really bad for not only tonight but tomorrow night. So yeah, the one thing that does play in their favour is usually early on in the night that the track isn't very wide, and you want to have the invert in the second round of heats when the track is wider. But as you can see behind me, the track is already widening up a little bit. We saw the dust come up in qualifying, so you know the cars are sliding around and there are moves to be made. So hopefully it only gets wider. We don't want it too slick, obviously, but we've got a camera on Luke Oldfield for the first heat. We've got one on Jordan Brazier. I'm really excited to see the onboards from that and see how they move through the field. Had a yellow in the first heat race. That was Jai Corbett. He tagged the wall on his own. That's one thing I didn't talk about in the preview, is that if you can get a yellow in your inverted heat, that's massive. Bunches up the field again. As you can see, there's 5 laps to go. Luke Oldfield's up to 6 from 8, but he was never going to make it up too much further. The cars had spread out too much, so it's a good chance for him to maybe grab at least 1 or 2 more spots, but not every heat's that lucky to have a yellow. Had the heat races, both rounds are finished. Lachlan McHugh's the only guy that's won. He's got quick time in his group and he's won both heats. Oldfield's been pretty quick too. Oldfield, I think, finished 4th in one of his heats and he won the last heat. Aaron Kelly went backwards in his heat. As you can see from the track, the grade is out here right now. It's down in turns 2. It's just come out onto the track. And he's going to scratch the top. I'm not sure if he's going to do too much to the bottom. The bottom is slick, but the thing is the bottom's already fast. If the track's even all over, then the bottom's going to be the fastest spot. So what he's trying to do is rip up the top a little bit, give it a bit of grip, and hopefully we can see another racing line. We see some racing for the 8. There you go, man.
Good.
How'd you go in the heats?
Not too bad. Moved forward in the first one after pretty solid qualifying. I think, yeah, we were leading that one, but then car went away a little bit with the track, but I think we got 2nd in the end, but I think we're still sitting about 5th in points, so we'll start there in the feature and see what we can do.
Where do you feel like you need to improve? I was just talking to Buzzy and he was saying maybe you're just buzzing off the corners a little bit.
Yeah, well the track's completely changed now because they've obviously re-ripped it, so we're back to square one really where we were, but that was probably struggling getting out the corner. We're sitting there on top of the track instead of being in the track, obviously getting it down. But yeah, we'll just see what we can do now and see what the track does after this B main to see what stage the track's going to be at, to see how far we need to go to tighten the car up. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it.
Do you make decisions, or do you just let Buzzy do whatever he wants to do, or how's that work between you guys?
No, Lewis makes the calls as well. It's just a bit of a team effort.
Yeah.
They sort of run it by me. I'll just say, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, but yeah, no, the shots, Lewis does a lot of the shots, and yeah, we'll just run with it and see what we can do.
The Goldfield looked pretty good in the heat.
Yeah, going all right, just ticking the points off and making it count.
You look pretty relaxed.
Yeah, just got to be relaxed with these Australian titles. There's been enough of them now to know what to do. So if you get yourself worked up too much, it tend to go bad. So
where do you feel like you need to improve on?
Well, I think we're pretty good. Just that that heat race, we sort of, I sort of probably need to settle down a bit, more so the driver than anything. Watching Ian Madsen out there earlier on his heat, he was really smooth. You know, it comes from racing over in America, and he got me beat at Toowoomba the other week running through the middle. So just watching that, and just got to probably aim to calm things down and see if we can get the car at the front or even in the top three. We'll be right for tonight.
Guys have been struggling, kind of buzzing off the corners and things like that with how slick it was, and then now the track's been scratched on the top and the bottom. Do you make a bunch of changes and go back to the start, or did you make changes to start
I don't
with?
think there's enough water in it for to do too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was water in it to start with, we'd probably find it would change a hell of a lot, but with a full B main going out there, I feel that it'll probably blow off pretty quick, and the graininess will probably come back a little bit. So yeah, just be interesting to see if we have to sweep the track a bit first and then get moving hopefully through the middle or bottom, and depends if the top's still on. So
how do you attack the feature of being a prelim?
I think you got to attack it a little bit, but cautiously at the same time. So it's a hard juggling act to try and get points and have a car straight at the end of it.
All right, feature race time. We've got a camera on Luke Oldfield, the back of his car, and we've also got a camera on Kelly's car, which is facing forward. So should be a good feature between Oldfield, McHugh, Madsen, Veal, Goodyear, all those sort of guys. It's going to be a top battle. Like we spoke about before, you just don't want to make a mistake in this feature. You have to finish this feature, and you need to finish it up front. We just watched the B main. The B main was just too fast around the top, so hopefully it slows down a little bit and we see a bit of a battle between the top and the bottom, and we see some slide jobs. Either way, I think we're in for a crack at 25 laps. Just had a yellow for someone that stopped with only 10 laps to go. The track's doing exactly what we thought it might. It's slowed down on the top. It's no longer the quickest way around the racetrack. Cars are buzzing their wheels a bit. So now it's a dogfight for the bottom. Veal got past Oldfield, and then they were starting to get into traffic. Now it's going to be in the open air. Let's see what these cars can do in open air. One of them will go to the bottom, one will go to the top. Basically, when you're in second, you just have to do whatever the other guy in front isn't doing. Aaron Kelly looks really good in third. I can hear an engine problem on Lockie McHugh, so that doesn't sound good. I know the guys on his crew will be looking at that pretty quickly. But yeah, either way, it's good to see Jamie Veal's definitely in with a fight. Let's see if Luke Oldfield's got anything for him in the last 10 laps. Veal right at the finish. Jock Goodyear came on really strong. Marcus Dumpsey, I think, finished 4th or 5th. Aaron Kelly backed it up a little bit. Yeah, wow, what a feature race. I can't pick a winner.
Set up for tomorrow night in Queens, out Brisbane. He is a popular winner, makes a noise for Lightning.
How was that, man?
Hey?
How was that?
It wasn't too bad, just at the end there, just faded a little bit. And
Yeah.
obviously, we've done a lot of racing up here over Christmas and that.
Yeah.
And then the track's nowhere near like what we've been used to. So just chase it a little bit and we'll be right. So still another 15 laps to go tomorrow night.
You feel like you were a better car, or do you feel like
I
they're
just
definitely better?
more tyres to me.
Yeah.
I reckon I just lost a bit of tyre. I didn't get enough
Yeah.
to keep getting forward. Well, we were good through the middle and felt really good. And then at the end, I don't know whether I just heeled over a little bit or it just had nothing.
Looks a pretty clean racer.
Yeah, so no, it's good to race against Luke. He's nice and clean, and our team are pretty level-headed.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Just can't get ahead of myself though. It's good to be on the front, up the front there. So yeah, great company up there. Car was pretty good. Just a few little tweaks, I reckon. And
Take us through the feature.
yeah,
got
got the jump on Lockie there at the start. So yeah, I didn't know if I'd get it, but railed it in there in turn 1 and 2, and it sat there. And I thought, oh, I'll stick to the bottom up this end, and it sort of worked for me. And then Veal got me. I don't even know where it was. Somewhere, it might have been after a restart or something. But yeah, he sort of got away. I sort of could keep on him, 1 and 2, and stay on the bottom 3 and 4. He made a couple of little mistakes. I caught back up to him, and then he went high. I sort of blew it in low, and it stuck. So got a good run out of 2, and got him back. So.
Veal said that he felt that maybe his car just went away a little bit with tyres and things like that.
Yeah, well, actually, I felt like mine went away too. So it's definitely, I reckon, because we had so many stoppages, fuel load was dropping off. So I think that sort of made a big part of it. They keep getting the wing back, and yeah.
You jumped to the bottom. When did you know to go to the bottom after running the top for so long?
Yeah, it's a long way around the top here, and on the bottom there's a bit more moisture. So you just had to try and stick the tyres into that, and you get good drive off. So. The car runs pretty good off the bottom, so
I noticed you're trying to run pretty low off at turn 4.
Yeah, you got to get those tyres into that bit of brown stuff. So yeah, you missed your line a bit. You're basically a sitting duck out there, so had to really try and keep it on low and get that left front up on the curb.
Right, feature race is just finished. Everyone's starting to leave, and we didn't do this at the start of the night, but I got my giant screwdriver. One thing I wanted to show you, or one thing I noticed real quick as we come out here, is it's really hard to see the edge of the track. Now obviously the cars come in and pitch their cars in coming into the corner, but we're off at turn 4 right now, and there's a ledge like right here, big concrete sort of foot wide ledge here to mark the inside of the track. But as you come around, you can see how slick it is coming off the corner here. Look how hard it is. Oh, just going in a little bit, so it's still tiny little bit of moisture, not the hardest, not as hard as what we had at Eastern Creek last week. But what I wanted to show you is coming off of the corner here, this is the driver's view. You actually can't see where's the inside of the track. Now if we follow that ledge, the inside of the track's like right about here, so this is about as low as they're allowed to get. And we just spoke to Luke Oldfield, and what he was saying is he needs those left side tyres in the brown clay to really get the drive off the corner. Now, you come out here, he could be out here, he could have his left side tyres over here. Look how hard it is on the track, right? Look how hard that is. I'm pushing it in a little bit, but it's pretty hard. But then we come down a little bit further. Watch this. This is the very inside of the track. Look at that. Push it a little bit further. So we can see it's a fair bit more tacky. Now, I'm not sure if that shows up too well on camera, but basically your left side tyres, I say what, I don't know, 1.5 foot, something wide. If you got your left side tyres over here, that's slippery. Over here, there's a lot more grip. So that's the difference. And when you're only searching for a 1/10 or 2, it really counts. And I really feel like being a local, you really learn a lot of that. I know Jamie Veal's come up here a fair bit over the summer, but Luke Oldfield got the better of him tonight.